Hey everybody! Hey, it is Monday and it's the start to an exciting week. It is maybe like 3.5 days at work. Probably leave early on Thursday, and then we have the famous concert that we so poorly planned for that I told you about a few weeks ago. So we're going to rock Am Ring on Friday, and that should be fun. So I'm not sure what I will bring. Probably not that much. Just a phone or something. Anyways, yeah, so far it's like super hot today. 30, feels like 30, or it's 30. And it was hot, just like summer, you know? The eye is the same as it was at the end of the video last week because I just recorded that. And that's it for now, so I will talk to you soon. Goodbye.
Hello, it is, Mark's looking at me funny. It's Friday and we are today at Rock Am Ring, which is pretty exciting. We're very early though because we had to park and take a shuttle. There's like camping stuff that you can do, but we didn't do any of that, so we wanted to make sure we were here in time. So we've got basically 2 hours to kill before we can properly get into the festival, and then like another 2 hours before any bands start playing. So we had some of the worst hamburgers either of us have ever eaten for breakfast, and now we're just waiting outside of the Little Rock store because they've got like a grocery store thing, or I guess you can probably buy like water, and it's mostly for like the campers and stuff, but it's very busy, and they seem to be setting up for some sort of small performance on this weird other stage that's over there. I don't know, I don't think you can see it. Anyways, something's going on, but not that much. We're just waiting. Okay, bye. Also, it's very cold and it was supposed to be really warm today, but this is windy right now. Hopefully it stops being windy. Okay, bye.
Dankeschön, wir sind die Cantina-Band. Wenn ihr Songwünsche habt, ruft sie einfach. Spielt denselben Song nochmal! Alles klar, denselben Song, und los!
These spirits are your friends. I see visions. These spirits
Hey, it is Saturday night. We are back from Rock am Ring, which was really good, but also like a whole thing because, well, it should have been expected for the most part. Most of what was a challenge was somewhat expected, but the actual festival and bands that played, the bands part were incredible. Loved all of it. Food there was fine, a little weird. Come back to that later maybe. But for the most part, was super fun while we were there. We drove there from here. It was a long drive. Should have been a long drive. Was actually an extremely long drive because there was a lot of traffic. It took us a long time to get there. We got to our hotel, which is apparently more of like a large bed and breakfast. There's like, I think I counted about maybe 12 rooms. It was called Land Hotel, so I thought it was like more of a hotel, but anyways, the first thing that happened was we got there and the lady essentially like reamed us out for being later than we had said we were gonna be there, and we had to like call a number and like ring some weird bell, like buzzer thing on the door, and then she like came down in her pajamas. She was only like my age or a little older, but it was like 9:30 and she was in her pajamas ready for bed, and like, you're late. And she just like was like, you're late. And we were like, yeah, we had really bad traffic. There was like 3 tractor trailers that had caught fire on the highway and we were stopped for an hour and a half. And she was like, you have a phone, don't you? You could have called. And we were like, we didn't know that you were gonna like go to bed at 8 o'clock. Like, it's a hotel. You should be able to show up at 9:30 and check in if you said you were gonna be there at 8. Is not like totally unreasonable. Anyways, she was mean. The room was kind of weird. I mean, it was sufficient. We showered, we slept there. It's all good, but wouldn't go back for sure just because she was really rude when we got there. She wasn't that bad this morning when we left, but she was really rude when we got there, so. as far as I'm concerned, if your customer shows up and you go, "You're late," and show up in your pajamas, like, not the best customer service. It's not like she called us or something and asked us where we were or if we were okay. She just expected us not to show up. I don't know. Anyways, weird. We went there the next day, Friday, and we went early, got parking eventually. Was difficult to find, but not impossible. Got parked, waited for the shuttle bus for a long time, probably 45 minutes, because we got there before the shuttle bus started running at 9 o'clock. And then we got there, we got our, we exchanged the stub of our ticket for these wristbands. And then we waited, and we waited. So let's say the shuttle bus got there at 9:15, so we got to the place, let's say 9:30. By the time we got our wristbands figured out, let's say 10 o'clock, because it was a big place. And then we waited until 12, just waiting. In the meantime, we hadn't had breakfast because the rude lady said it wasn't served till 9, and we were like, we're gonna be leaving before 9. And she said she could make special arrangements if you needed it before 9. But after we got reamed out for being late, we weren't gonna ask her to also get up early. So we got some hamburgers from this place, from one of the only booths that was open at like 10, because most of them, like, we were really early. And it was, honestly, I didn't expect big things from this hamburger stand, because the name of it was just called Fry's Hamburger. Like, it wasn't a brand, it was just like a hamburger stand, but it exceeded my expectations in that it was the worst hamburger that I've ever had in my entire life. And to mess up a hamburger that badly is honestly something they should get some kind of award for. This was also probably the most prominent food truck in the entire festival. I must have seen 6 of them while we were there.
I can say something about that too.
Okay,
they weren't just the worst hamburgers of all time. I think they were made for the last Rock am Ring and then warmed up again and just left somewhere, maybe frozen.
The outside was like weirdly
like the bun was pre-frozen and then
just crusted or something. I don't know.
Incredibly bad.
Yeah, it was really bad. And there was a lot of them, and we saw other people eating them later. I don't know what they thought of them. Anyways, so we waited and we waited, and then finally the gate was supposed to start opening at 12. The bands were supposed to start around 2, and then it didn't. We just waited another hour from 12 until 1, when then they finally let us in. We got some different food. Right before the band started playing, we got some pulled pork sandwiches. They were messy, but tasted all right. And then the band started playing, and that was really good. That part was really good. One of the main parts of this story probably is actually about weather also. So the forecast said it should be 25 degrees, approximately, sunny. We had prepared for the festival in ways that mostly included sunscreen and light clothing, because that was what was forecasted. We watched, the first band was called the Palisades. The second band was I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and that is one of Mark's favorite bands, and that's kind of like the reason that we went. Palisades were good. I Don't Know How But They Found Me were awesome. The next one was, I think, yeah, it was Against the Current, which is a band that has a lead singer that's a girl. They were really, really good. She had like incredible stage presence. I'd never really heard of them before. I mean, I looked up the band to know that it was here and it was playing after I Don't Know How But They Found Me and that it was probably something we should check out. But I'd heard like 2 of their songs, liked them okay, and that was it. But she put on a really, really good show in a surprising way, so that was pretty cool. Of course, I Don't Know How But They Found Me, we knew the lyrics, we knew the band, like, you really can't beat seeing that sort of thing live. And during Against the Current, it started raining, and it was pretty windy all day, but there was enough sun that it was like pretty warm. By the end of Against the Current's playing, although you didn't really think about it because you were watching a band, it had gotten pretty cold. And we both had on shorts and like a light sweater, which was, we thought, plenty of clothing for the 25-degree day where we weren't allowed to bring backpacks into the festival. By the end of the next band, which was the Welshly Arms, we were so cold that we ended up just going back to our hotel. When I checked the weather, when we got on the shuttle bus, it was feels like 10, and we were dressed for 25, so it was just too cold. Like, there was people that were just showing up to the festival because, I mean, we left at like 8 o'clock. That's pretty early for a concert, but it was, we saw what we wanted to see really, and it was fine. Would we have liked to stay longer? Yes, but we were freezing. But people were showing up in winter jackets, and we were dressed for a beautiful summer's day. So, I mean, I blame the weather forecast, really. If we had known, we could have done something, but we didn't know. Anyways, the actual bands that we saw, like I said, really, really good. The Welshly Arms were really good. Mark really likes them. And all bands are incredible live. They were really good. It's not something necessarily that I would continue to listen to, but Against the Current, I Don't Know How But They Found Me, and I think that's it. Also, there was a German band in between I Don't Know How But They Found Me and Against the Current that I forgot about. It was called Drangsal. They were kind of like a German Franz Ferdinand, but pretty German, so they were good, but it's not something we're like super into. So, but again, we took that as kind of like an opportunity to sit down at the back and like regroup before the bands we liked a little more were coming back on, and they were still really good. Yeah, so that's kind of like the concert. We went back, we had some food from a local Chinese shop that was called How Long, which was funny. We thought for a Chinese delivery place to be called How Long. Yes. And then we drove back this morning. We did have breakfast at the hotel this morning because we needed to wait until 9 to check out anyway, because of course she wasn't getting up early. But yeah, breakfast was fine, but not great. We checked out, everything was fine, and we drove home. We were like almost home. We were past Nuremberg, and then we hit this again, just like an hour and a half of traffic. We ran around some of it, like we got off an exit and got back on, and still it was like an hour and a half. I don't know. Anyways, we're home again now, obviously. Have a great week. I will see you next week. And yeah, the last week's video was late because I was doing this. So I will catch you next time. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon. Those things that YouTubers say, I guess. Subscribe. Hello, another quick word from the future of bad lighting. I'm going to leave links to my favorite songs, or the videos from my favorite songs of the bands that I talked about in here, in the description below. If you want to check them out, cool. If not, don't. So yeah, then you can hear what they're actually supposed to sound like instead of whatever that was. So again, sorry about that, but I was not allowed to bring anything with me, so there you go. Anyways, thanks again for watching. See you later.